you know that in Korea, tipping is actually like an insult? If you want to know 15 facts as a foreigner living in South Korea on what not to do when you come, please keep watching.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really did know you are.
There's so much things I didn't know about Korea until I came here. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss any tips or any videos of my journey here in South Korea. Things that you can't do in South Korea. Don't speak loudly in public places. Koreans really value peace and quiet in a public space. Talking on the phone or blasting your music on the train, the subway, etc. outdoors, they find it very disrespectful. Used on how peaceful the rides are on the train when you don't hear like commotion or loud noises. And like I told you guys, I'm an introvert, so I love the peace and quiet. So going from America to Korea and getting on trains and subways and buses to experiencing like peace and quiet, it makes you realize how loud it's in America. Pro tip: texting is a way to go here in Korea. Koreans don't really talk on the phone, they mainly just text. There's no jaywalking. That is a no here. I know that, back at home, jaywalking is also not a good thing. Like, people shouldn't do it, but people still do it. Koreans, no. They literally obey the law. They do not walk crossing over the street. They have like a little bar and it tells you like when to walk. I went over this topic in my last video about shoes indoors. This one is a big deal. Whether you're entering your home or certain cafes, they require you to remove your shoes. The polite thing to do is to make sure you have socks, or if you're wearing sandals, in your bag or in your pocket, to just exchange them out once you're entering those facilities or people's home or even your home. Most places will have a spare shoe, like I demonstrated to you guys in my last video, that you guys can swap out to, but it is disrespectful for you to come into their home or to come into their home with no socks on. You have to have something on your foot. My pro tip would be to make sure you carry a pair of socks or an extra pair of house shoes so that you could use when you're entering people's house or cafes when they do require for you to remove your shoes. Recycling is very serious in Korea. In Korea, you are required to recycle, and not only recycle, but they have multiple different types of recycling, whether it's waste, food waste, recycle, whether it's plastic, can, or glass. So yes, they have a big variety of different categories when it comes to the trash. I don't know about like if it's a rule everywhere around here, but in my building, basically we are only allowed to throw our trash out Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. I think it's 6 a.m. I could be wrong. But you can only throw it out Monday through Friday after 8 p.m. You are not allowed to throw trash out during the weekends here. I don't know the actual reason why, but if I do find it, I will make sure to insert it here. My girl told me no trash until after 8 and only Monday through Friday. They also do have cameras to ensure that people are not throwing trash out before the time frame that is required. There's cameras in general everywhere in Korea, like literally anywhere you look up you see a camera. So I do suggest people, if you are moving here or visiting, to make sure you obey their rule, because you will get fined and they will figure out where you live or going. Public display of affection. Koreans are usually very respectful of people's space for the most part, but PDA is something that they don't really like. Koreans are very reserved when it comes to like public affection. You will see like Korean couples around who will be holding hands, cuddling, etc., but you will never see a Korean couple kissing or making out of any type of form out in public, because that is just not something that they like. Pro tip for this one would be save the romantic for your private and intimate time versus getting stared at because people are wondering why you're sitting here making out with your significant other in a public transportation or outdoors. Do not point. So I learned this one recently about Koreans. They don't like when people point fingers at them like this. What they prefer for you to do is to use your chin. So point at things with your chin, or use your head, like point at things in that way. Or if you're going to use your hand, don't just point, use your whole hand, like kind of like direct them that way, so they don't feel like you're being disrespectful. So my pro tip would be, instead of using your finger, either use your whole hand and address them to go that way, or use your chin or use your forehead. It's personal space. Personal space is not a thing here. Koreans are going to get by on any which way that they need to get by. For example, subways. Sometimes the subways get super, super, super packed. And when they get super, super packed and you look over, like someone's literally standing by you, like rubbing each other's arms. So I definitely advise that if you are a personal space kind of person, then public transportation might not be the thing for you, because of the fact that sometimes it does get very, very crowded. So my pro tip for this one is going to be, don't be alarmed, just go along with it. As long as they're not pushing you and shoving you, you should be okay for the most part. If it's not something that you can tolerate, then what I would advise you to use is to use a taxi, or you can use one of these apps that are here to get a like what they call like an Uber. My next one is, don't forget to hold the elevator door for people. In Korea, it is considered polite when you know that someone is coming behind you to come into the elevator to hold the elevator door and just ensure that they can get in. Koreans love that, whether they speak English or not. They'll kind of like smile at you, give you kind of like a gesture saying that they appreciate it. So my pro tip here is, remember to hold the door for others. My next one is, don't walk around with your wallet open. While Korea is pretty safe, like I told you guys, it seems disrespectful for them for you to walk around with your wallet open. Koreans typically have their wallets stored inside their purses, and even within an additional pouch inside that purse. So my pro tip for this one is, invest in a very good crossbody bag, and just make sure that you keep your crossbody bag zipped at all times and don't keep your wallet out. Next, avoid red tag items. Koreans find red tags as a symbol of something really bad. I don't want to say the word because I might get banned. So if you're shopping and you see a red tag, typically Koreans would avoid purchasing that item because of their superstitions. So pro tip, if you're shopping, make sure you don't grab anything that's red, it's in a red tag, and you'll be good to go. Is tipping. So in Korea, they find it disrespectful for you to tip them. So I had a scenario where I went to go get my toes done when I first ever moved here. Those of you who have me on Instagram know the story of me walking. But basically in this nail salon, I went to go get my toes done, and whenever I get my toes done, I always tip. That's just who I am. I'm a tipper. So when I went, I got my toes done, and she did an amazing job. And I went to go tip her. So when I went to go give her the money, she was looking at me like, you gave me more. So she's handing me back the money, the extra money. And I'm like, no, you keep it. And she's like, no. Like, she insisted. Like, it was almost like she was getting mad that I was offering her more money. So she kept telling me no. And I thought that maybe she was saying it because maybe it was too much money, or because at that time I didn't know the money like that. So I was so confused. So then when I get home and I tell my girl's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, tipping is not a thing here. So she probably got offended because you gave her a tip. And I'm like, and when you go to certain places, like, you'll see that they don't want any kind of tip. If you go to like Americanized areas like the set, etc., they'll have like buckets that say tip, but it's not required. So my pro tip for tipping is, just don't tip. Just purchase the food that you want, and just don't tip. Giving the money to Koreans. So let's say that I am purchasing a bag of chips. In Korea, it is mindful for you to give the money with both hands as such, or handing the money and holding your arm. That is just a way of showing respect here. If you just hand them the money, you'll see that they'll receive it with both hands. Whenever you're going to go ahead and hand over money, just simply give it to them with two hands or with one hand in your elbow and handing them the money. And when you're going to receive it, do the same thing. Don't speak too much English. And some of you are like, well, Liz, I only speak English. While most Koreans do speak a little bit of English and understand English, they find it disrespectful for you to speak English in their country and around them. So try to minimize conversations in English when you're out in public and save them from when you're more personal, intimate, let's say out eating at a cafe or in your own home. But Koreans do find it disrespectful to talk in another language in front of them because they're not very good at the language. Make sure that you are wearing very subtle colors like white, black, gray, like a navy. Koreans don't wear color. I have addressed this in my past video. If you wear bright colors, you are going to pop out and it's going to be an attention seeker. They will know that you are not from here. I mean, they already know because they can see that you don't look Korean. But you are more prone to get more looks when you are wearing colorful clothes or explicit clothes. My pro tip would be make sure that all of the clothes you grab when you're coming to Korea are reserved and are not very bright colors, more so neutral colors. These are some things that I have learned while living in South Korea as a foreigner. These are all my personal inputs and my opinion on what not to do in Korea. This has adjusted to my lifestyle now, so now I feel like some of these Korean culture things that I learned here, I'm going to take forever into my personal life, like the shoes, the bowing, that I just feel like it just works so much better. So if there are any tips that I shared that you would do, make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think. Or if there's something that you don't think that you can get adjusted to, please comment below and let me know. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and thank you so much for the support, like I said previously. And please just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to continue to show support. And I will continue to post more and more content about Korea. Have a good one.
I just keep it real,
High volume.
Am I really that